Welcome! In this video, we're going to take a look at the cards in the Star-Lord Hero Pack for Marvel Champions the card game. So here we have Star-Lord in all his glory, one complete pre-built Star-Lord deck, 30 new cards that can be added to any hero deck, Nemesis set featuring Mr. Knife. So let's go ahead and jump on in and take a look at these cards. So here, just another pretty picture of him. This is going to be his poster, along with a little story. A hotshot outlaw from the planet Earth and leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill, better known to some as Star-Lord, brings a touch of sarcasm and narcissistic humor to the field, keeping his ragtag team of heroes together to protect the galaxy from threats big and small. If he can make a few units along the way, well, that's an added bonus. So they're talking about keywords Fender, which we've seen in the previous set. So when a card has that, place X threat on that card. Piercing helps us get through tough, and range means we ignore or retaliate on things we're attacking. So that's it for him. And now for the pack. Open this up. So I haven't seen anything other than Star-Lord for this. So we'll break this up into his basic cards, his obligation, his nasty stuff, and the bonus cards. Star-Lord, thwart of 2, attack of 2, defense of 1. Abilities, each ally you control gains the Guardian trait, which is pretty sweet. And then what could go wrong? Interrupt. When you play a card from your hand, deal yourself one face down and counter card. Reduce the resource cost to play a card by 3, limit once per round. Now, when Scarlet Witch came out, I was a little concerned about discarding encounter cards, but this just deals us another one. So, curious to see how powerful this is going to become, because right now, without using the deck or seeing it in play, I'm a bit scared. So these cards are going to have to be awesome for that to work out for me. So hand size of 5, hit points of 10 on this side. Alter Ego, standard recovery of 3. For setup, search your deck and discard pile for a copy of the Element Gun upgrade. Add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. So that's nice. He's going to start with something, hopefully good. We'll see that here shortly, I'm assuming. Smooth Talker is an action. Choose a card in your hand. Swap that card with the top card of your deck. So that's going to be interesting, trying to, well, if you have something you know you can't pay for, to swap it out. Or something's going to let us see what the top card of our deck is and choose something. Hand size of 6, 10 hit points. So, I mean, stats are pretty good. Not as good as Gamora, but pretty good. So, starting out with his base 15 cards. Nova Prime, 5 cost ally, thwart of 2, attack of 3, and 3 health. Those are great looking stats. That's a bit high, but I understand why they're doing that. Response, after you play Nova Prime from your hand, defeat a non-elite minion. That's pretty sweet. All right, then we have 3 Daring Escapes, 0 cost event. Hero action, deal yourself 1 face down and counter card, ready your hero, and draw a card. That is just scary. So right off the bat, we're making ourselves a heroic 2 with face down and counter cards. But we get to ready our hero and draw a card. Interesting. That's going to get me in trouble. All right, Gutsy Moves. 2 of those. 2 cost events. Hero action. Thwart, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Remove 2 additional threat from that scheme for each face down and counter card in front of you. All right, so we can potentially have 2 additional encounter cards down in front of us. So 2 cost for 6 threat removal. Yeah, don't know. We're going to have to see that in play. I mean, it's good for 2, cost of 2 for 6 threat removal, but the additional 2 counter cards out there, I think you can pick up where I'm going with his stack. I'm a bit scared until I get this in play. 3 sliding shots, 3 cost events. Play only if you control an element gun. Hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. Deal 2 additional damage to that enemy for each face down and counter card you have. So 5, 7, or 9 damage potentially, or possibly even more. And Bad Boy, a 3-cost support. Hero Interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage from the villain's attack, discard this card. Prevent all of that damage. Change to alter ego form and draw 2 cards. I actually really like that. So we're going to flip back to his other form, draw 2 cards. So we're going to have 7 cards in hand. Potentially swap a card. All right, I'm liking the Bad Boy vehicle. Then our element guns that we're getting 1 for free at startup. So it's restricted, hero action, exhaust the element gun and spend a resource of any type. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing. All right, so we pay 3 to bring it in or play it for free. We're pitching a card to do 3 damage with piercing. That is strong. All right, very strong. So the thing that's scaring me the most now is things that discard your upgrades, especially the cards that discard your highest cost upgrade. It's going to be devastating for him. He's got some jet boots, gains the aerial trait. Hero Interrupt. When Star-Lord would take any amount of damage, exhaust the boots, prevent 1 of that damage for each face down encounter card in front of you. Okay. So it could prevent 0 to 2 or 3 or whatever. Interesting. And then Leader of the Guardians, 3-cost upgrade. Each Guardian character you control gets +1 thwart. So playing with him with the typical leadership deck where you have lots of allies out, that could be strong. 1-cost upgrade, got his helmet. While you're in hero form, you get +1 hand size for each face down encounter card in front of you to a maximum of +3. Man, that's going to get me in trouble. I know it is, but he's got some great things working out there. For those, I'm typically a week behind getting this, so I'm sure everyone else that's already gotten this and played it, let me know how you're doing with that. So looking at the rest of his cards in leadership, Adam Warlock, costs a 3, thwart a 1, attack a 1 with 3 health. As a response, after he attacks or thwarts, discard a card at random from your hand. That card's printed resource has, well, physical, remove 3 threat from a scheme. Energy, heal 3 damage from an identity. Mental, deal 3 damage to an enemy. Wild, choose one of the above. Some pretty strong things, unless you don't need. I mean, you're always going to deal damage to an enemy. Healing's going to be good for somebody, except for the first turn of the game. And removing 3 threat from a scheme. It's got some potential there. Beta Ray Bill, 5 cost. Thwart a 1, attack a 3, 4 health. After he attacks and defeats a minion, remove 2 threat from the main scheme. All right, other than being expensive, very nice. Yondu, 4 cost. Thwart a 2, attack of 1, 2 health. His attacks gain ranged, so that's sweet. Missing one thing down here. No consequential damage when he attacks. So this is the second character to do that. The first one was Black Cat with Spider-Man, and that's awesome. The cost is not the greatest, because I think she costs just 2 or something. But yeah, I feel like everything in this stack for him is going to be high cost things, but still, that's pretty awesome. All right, 3 air supremacies, 2 cost event, hero action. Choose up to X enemies where X is equal to the number of aerial characters you control. Deal 3 damage to each chosen enemy. Wasn't even paying attention to aerial. All right, Adam Warlock so far. And of course, we've got boots, so he could potentially be aerial. We'll see what else we get. So depending on how you build your deck, that could be very strong. All right, 3 Blaze of Glory, 2 cost events, max 1 per round. Each Guardian character gets +2 thwart and +2 attack this phase. At the end of the phase, deal 1 damage to each Guardian character. So this is getting down for when it's time to get the whooping to get the game over with. Pretty strong, liking it. Get ready, we've seen before. 0 cost event to ready an ally. Target practice. Zero cost support. When an ally with a weapon upgrade makes an attack, discard target practice. That ally gets +2 attack for that attack. Pretty good for 0 cost to add an extra 2 damage. 2 power of leaderships. Then we have some laser blasters, 1 cost upgrades. Attached to a guardian ally, and all your allies are going to be guardians because of him. Unless he's an alter ego, then you might have to wait till you flip him. Attached ally gets +1 attack, and its attack gains overkill. I'm liking that. Putting all these weapons on Yondu is going to be good, so you don't have to go Spider-Man to get that ability. So then into our basic cards. Cosmo, 2 cost ally. 4-1, attack of 1 with 2 health. I love basic allies with a cost of 2. Interrupt. When Cosmo attacks or thwarts, name a card type, then discard the top card of a deck. If that card is of the name type, Cosmo does not take consequential damage. So when it's name a card type, so you could choose the encounter deck if you wanted to. Or if you're playing along with Gamora and you know she's heavy on attacks, events, and things. Pretty sweet. CITT, no idea what that stands for. 2 cost support, hero action, exhaust it, and spend 2 resources of any type. Ready a guardian character. So, depending on what you've got going, that's going to be nice. Then we have nowhere, 2 cost support, but only if your identity has a guardian trait. Increase your ally limit by 1. So, response after a player plays a guardian ally, exhaust nowhere. That player draws a card. Then we have 3 pulse grenades. 2 cost upgrade, hero action. Discard pulse grenade and choose an enemy. Discard the top 2 cards in the counter deck. Deal 1 damage to the chosen enemy for each boost icon discarded this way. So anywhere from 0 to 6 damage potentially. Not too keen on that, but we'll see what happens in the game. So his obligation, banishment. Give to Peter Quill. You may flip to alter ego and then choose. So exhaust him, remove it from the game. Or discard an element gun from play. If you cannot, place 3 threat on the main scheme and discard this obligation. That will be nasty if you don't have a gun to get rid of. Especially late game when you're too close to the end. All right, so the rest of his Nemesis cards, or all of those. Budding Crime Syndicate. Hinder 2, and then an additional 2 and an extra encounter card. Was that hurting us or helping us? I think hurt. Y'all let me know. Mr. Knife, Schema 2, attack of 2, 6 health, retaliate 1. The first treachery the engaged player reveals each villain phase gains surge. Nasty. And 3 Cunning. When revealed, discard a card at random from your hand, take 1 damage, and place a threat on the main scheme. All right, so there's all his cards. Then on to our extras. In aggression, we have Dive Bomb, 4 cost event, aerial attack. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. All right, so you are going to have to, it's going to limit our heroes down, or really make sure we get the right card in there to make them aerial. Hero action, deal 7 damage to an enemy, deal 1 damage to each other enemy. So this is going to require some specialized deck building. 4 calls for 7 damage and 1 to each other enemy. That is awesome. So yeah, pretty good card. You just got to work for it to get it out there. Agile Flights, 3 cost events. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. Hero action. Move a total of up to 5 threat from among schemes. So cost of 3, removing 5 threat from schemes from everything out there. But you need to make sure you have aerial, ever vigilant. Play only if your identity has the aerial trait. As a hero action, ready your hero and remove 2 threat from the main scheme. Cost of 2 to ready your hero seems pretty good. Once again, building off of aerial. Then enhanced awareness. We've seen this before. 2 cost upgrade. Hero resource, exhaust it, remove a mental counter from it. And it gets 3 to generate a mental resource. So that is everything in the Star-Lord Hero Pack for Marvel Champions, the card game. As always, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and look at the cards. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.